What's up, my friends? Thanks for joining us on SERVi Homestead again. Wanted to tell you guys a little bit about clothes you should wear in the heat and about my old tractor. It's really humid here in Louisiana, and right now we're in the beginning of July, and it could be worse. I actually feel somewhat dry breezes now and then, and you would swear air conditioner air was blowing on you. It feels that refreshing, but it will get warmer at the end of this month, and especially in August. It's almost unbearable, and there's so much moisture in the air that your sweat does nothing. It doesn't help to cool you off, and you just have to remember to drink lots of water and take some breaks. I would like to push for a campaign to treat the hottest days here like folks up north treat their snowed in days. They can't go anywhere sometimes, and yes, they have the physical block of ice and snow. We don't have that physical. We just have the muggy feeling. It's not something you can see. It's not as tangible. But I wish people down here would treat our hottest afternoons like folks up north treat their coldest snowed in days, where we just say, hey, I just can't do anything outside right now, and change your plans. Even employers, people that own businesses and work outdoors or in shops and stuff, I wish they would take that into consideration. I'm not sure if the statistic is still valid, but heat-related illnesses I think it's the highest cause of death out of all weather conditions. And so we need to be careful out there. So what do I wear if I need to work in the afternoon on a hot sunny day? Well, light pants if I can, something not as heavy as jeans. So I'll keep old khakis or something similar, and a light thin shirt. This is an old shirt I used to wear to church. The edges started getting brown around the arms and the neck, and it works great because it keeps the sun from hitting directly on your skin. And I've had people joke and tease, oh man, what, you're not hot enough, you got to wear a long sleeve shirt? Well, that's just stupid. You're the fool who's letting the sun hit you directly on your skin. And plus, without a shirt on, or with a short sleeve shirt, you can't do this and get that sweat out of your eyes and eyebrows. So also a big hat keeps the sun directly off of you a little bit more. And sunblock on your face and ears, backs of your hands. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're a darker skinned person, then you're less likely to have skin cancer and sunburn and things, but it's still not a bad idea. Your skin will still get darker if you're in the sun more, no matter what color your skin is, and that sunblock can just help to keep those UV rays from getting into your skin. All right, let's take a look at the tractor. Here she is. It's an old International 706, and it was the one made in Germany, from what I can tell. The engine is made in Germany. Some were American engines, and it's around 1968. It's big. It's bigger than what I need. Even though it's huge, it's only rated for about 76 horsepower. But I've heard people say they could tweak the injection pump up to make it closer to 100 horsepower. It's an inline 6-cylinder engine. As you can see, 6 injectors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The return line that's braided up there has some leaks in it. It's a specialized line. I don't even know if I can still get it. I need to look it up, but that's why it's weeping diesel all the way down. But it's the low pressure return line. So more diesel goes to the injectors than is needed, and the excess goes through that braided rail across the top back to the tank. Two fuel filters. Here's the injection pump. The previous owners already put a basic alternator on there instead of the old time generators that needed a separate regulator. Here's the big old radiator. The air filter is in here. There's a little cover here, but I took it off. It's a long tube-like air filter. Here is the oil filter. I put a high cold cranking amps battery on here. It had two 6-volt batteries that were connected in series to add up to 12. This is 850. 850 cold cranking amps. It was more expensive, but there's no way I was going to try to find two of those old vintage 6-volt batteries. They were long. This is the case for them. They went from here to here, and one was on the other side. So this works really well. One of the headlights still works, the other one doesn't. It's got these big old rear tires. They can be adjusted and spread further out in case you need to have a wider wheelbase or match the width of the rows that you may be working in. I don't know if you could put dual tires back here, I'm not sure. Right now all I have is this small old bush hog that my grandpa had here. I never saw him use it, and I never used it when I was cutting the grass here for years with the little Yanmar. It would be too heavy for the little Yanmar, but it is a true bush hog brand. It's got the two loose blades under there. I greased up the transfer box and I sharpened the blades about a year ago, and I was able to fit it on here. I think this 3-point hitch is bigger. There's like type 1, type 2, and type 3. This tractor might be a type 3, I guess, and this bush hog was a type 2, but I was able to get it on there. The hydraulics are in bad shape, but it does have fittings here and on the side for external devices, like maybe a front end loader, or I don't know, anything else, or a wood chipper or a hay baler. It doesn't run real well, but the fuel filters were a big part of the problem, and I didn't realize that at the beginning. I wish they had been the first thing I changed, because I did all kinds of stuff. I took the injectors out and cleaned them, and then I didn't realize that there was a sensitive setting on the pressure spring inside that I didn't know how to set, so they're off. But the filters had evidently gotten moisture in them, water, and probably swole the pores up, I guess, in the paper filters. And I didn't realize it, but fuel was getting to the pump, but not enough. So I took the two filters out, and the local store only had one of the two filters, so I put it in a couple months ago, and it ran so much better. So it's still not great, but I can at least use it to cut like way back out there where the rough stuff is. I got it for less than 1,500 bucks. The young man was selling it. He just didn't need anything this big, and it didn't want to start the day I bought it from him. But I found a couple of guys that we knew a little bit that were really generous to me. Thanks, Eric and your brother. They actually came and helped me start it. It just really needed to be bled. There was a lot of air in the line, so we put diesel in it and cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked with the fuel fittings cracked open. They got it to start, and then they came with me another day with their big trucks and a gooseneck trailer and drove it all the way to my house, 25 minutes away. So that was really generous of them. I'm working on the muffler too. It stuck straight up, and it was tall. I mean, it's tall enough that I'm sitting way up here, and this is me standing 6 feet tall. So I was way up there when I was cutting, and I couldn't go under any of the trees because the stack was higher than my head was. So I cut it in a couple of places and re-welded it and made like an elbow. Not a great job, but at least it's lower, and it's shooting the fumes and smoke away from me. But now I need to wrap this with steel wool and fiberglass, and then put the outer canister on and weld it back down, and I'll have a quieter and shorter muffler now once I do that. Right now it's super loud. All right, let's see if I can start it up for you guys. She requires a little squirt of starter fluid. This thing does not have glow plugs. You're not supposed to use ether in an engine, a diesel engine that has glow plugs. Without the glow plugs, it's okay. And I read that a lot of the older ones need it to get started because they've lost some compression over time. So here we go. Quick little burst. Make sure it's in neutral. And I press this little button right here to start it once I turn the key on. Come on. Usually would have stayed running by now. Let me make sure it has enough diesel. It had some diesel, but I'm going to add more just to be sure. Got it. I just had to squirt a second spray of ether soon after it started, and then it stayed running. I need to build a shed for it. Right now I just put the tarp over the steering wheel and the seat and stuff so it's not in the sun all the time. Thanks for watching SERVi Homestead. Please consider subscribing if you like our content. We appreciate your support. Take care. Be careful out there. We'll see you on the next one.